Oh, hey, Jeremy here from Long Speed Marine. Well, I just thought I'd do a quick video here on what's been happening around the shop, what we've been up to, and some things that are going to be coming up on the channel. So let me show you around and what's been happening. Okay, so the last thing we were working on was the C50, and that's pretty much been it. I haven't really been able to get out here and do much on anything just because of some health issues. So I pulled the cylinder heads off. If you watch some of the shorts, pulled the cylinder heads off of this 350. So the ridge on here is just brutal in these. Some of them are worse than others, but they're pretty bad. I'd probably break the rings getting it out. I wanted to see. You can actually, in this cylinder, I don't know if you can see, you can actually see the piston ring in that cylinder. So that's not really very good. So I just rocked that over and now you can't see that piston ring. So that piston is slopping around in that cylinder. So that's not very good. I almost feel like this block might have to go 60 over. So anyways, I'll take it to a couple machine shops. Going to call around, see, and probably just get this thing rebuilt because I mean, small block Chevys are pretty hard to come by these days that are decent. So I've already got this one. I might as well spend the money on rebuilding it and get that done. The plan was this was going to go into the C50. So I was going to take this motor, put it in the C50 in front of the Turbo 400 transmission that I have for it. But obviously that being so junk, and this is what really stalled me up for Power Tour, was getting into this motor and it being junk. The cam bearings are wiped out on it too. It did make oil pressure, which was kind of neat, and it did run half decent. It was running really, really rich. But it made oil pressure, which I'm shocked with those cam bearings. So I don't know. Anyways, we'll send that to a machine shop, get it checked out, see what they think, and then go from there. So the C50 was what I was planning on taking on Power Tour, but that didn't end up happening. The Buick Skylark I was going to take on Power Tour, but it just needed a pile of stuff that I just couldn't get to, wouldn't have time to do. And if you look around, it's not in the shop anymore. And no, it's not just sitting outside, it's gone. So I sold the Skylark. It's gone down the road. That's allowed me to pay some bills and spend a little bit more money on the C50. So I just picked this thing up. This is a Chevy 350 that is 60 over. Or if you read it upside down, it's 90 over. That's pretty cool. You can't go 90 over. So it's still got the crosshatch in the cylinders. So this will be a pretty decent little motor, I think. Got it from a fellow that I know, a buddy of mine. So should be a decent motor. I don't know if it's 4-bolt or not, but I don't even really care. So that will be going in the C50 in front of that Turbo 400. I've got these 305 Come Alive high output cylinder heads. They picked up from him also at the same time. So they make a lot of compression. The valves are a little bit small, I know, but they make decent compression, so it should be decent on that 350. So I also picked up a Turbo 400, a Turbo 350 transmission, and I think what that's going to be is for the 57 Oldsmobile. So the next step that I really want to do is get onto the Chevy C50. Let me just put you on the stand here. So I really want to get onto the C50 and get it running and driving and completed, so I can drive it around a little bit. Might be up for sale. I don't know. We'll see how I like driving it. But that's the plan, is at least to get this thing on the road running and driving. And then we'll worry about, see where we go. If someone wants to buy it, then I'll sell it. If not, what I'm going to do is build a flat deck for the back here. I've got an idea in my head of how I want that to look. So for a flatbed back here with some toolboxes and stuff on it, it's kind of just be like a work truck type of thing. Seeing as I don't have a pickup truck anymore, I may keep this around because this would be a good, parts hauler and stuff like that, especially being a flatbed. So that's the idea on this, and that's what's going to be coming up next. So once I feel a little bit better, I'll be able to get onto putting that motor together, finish up some of the welding on this, and put this thing on the road. So that'd be really cool. The next step after that is I'm going to be working on the 57 Oldsmobile. So I want to get this thing a little bit more together. I've got to go pick up some parts for it. I will be, getting the rest of the complete car on this. I just haven't been able to get over and pick up the parts. So I'm going to pick up the rest of the parts for this thing because this is the next project that I want to get on the road and get running and driving. So the plan for it is 350 Chevy, turbo 350 transmission, and just see how it goes. It's got a posi rear end in it. I don't know what gear it is, but it is posi. So it might be a pretty decent car, right? Like might be a pretty rowdy car pretty quick. And that's the plan for it. 3-speed, turbo 350. I'm not, we all say that we want overdrive and 4-speed and stuff like that, but let's be real. Even that Skylark, I drove it on the highway 2 or 3 times. And could I have done it with a 3-speed? Absolutely. Used to drive, all my other hot rods were only 3 speeds and 342 rear gears, 373s, like cares. If you drive a little bit slower on the highway or it takes you a little bit longer, I mean, it's about the drive anyways. But realistically, most of us just drive our stuff around town. I go the most time to, over to a cruise night, which is about 20 minutes away from me. All the roads are 80 kilometers an hour, or what is that, 50 miles per hour, 45, 50, whatever. You can do that. So that's the plan for this Oldsmobile, is just to throw it together and be sort of ratty the way that it is and show it off as the show car that it was, with the interior will be the show car, and just sort of drive around and have a good time with it. So that's the next project. Once I get this C50 on the road, I'll kind of be swapping back and forth between the two of them, depending on what parts and stuff I have for this C50, and go from there. So that's the plan. The Mercury is just sort of on hold for now. It's sitting off to the side. I did get the shop cleaned up over that side. I've got to clean up this half of the shop still. So this half of the shop is pretty messy. But it's just stuff that needs to be put away. So I've got to get around to putting all of this stuff away. And then this side of the shop will be cleaned up. But I'm really happy that I got all the garbage taken out of over there and that all thrown out. So now I can just work on putting away this stuff here. So like I said, the Mercury, it was up for sale for a little bit. I was thinking about getting rid of it, but I'm not going to. No one wanted it as a project. No one wants to work on that kind of stuff. It seems like no one wants to build that. You guys like watching the stuff to be built, but don't really want to take it on yourselves. And I kind of understand it. But for what I was selling it for and all the parts I have, it was a pretty good deal. Anyways, I'm going to keep it. Even if someone came to me right now and said they want to buy it, no, I'll just let it sit until I'm ready to get back onto that. And like I said, want to get this 57 Oldsmobile done. And then once the C50 is running and driving, and out of there, then I can pull in my 4-door wagon, 57 Oldsmobile, and start tackling that. So I got to cut up. That's why I say these builds, the C50 is going to be the main one, but I may jump around because I have that 4-door parts car, which I'll start stripping all the parts off of it and then just stashing it away so it's not a whole car sitting there. And then I can clean up my lean-to area over the side. Then, I know this is a lot, but then I also want to start working on the boat because I'd like to have my Century boat in the water next year. I really want to get that thing done. My original plan was to be able to have this thing in the water this year, but obviously I got so much stuff going on that it's just not happening. But I really want to get that worked on. So I'd like to get at some point that off of the trailer because the trailer also takes up a huge amount of room. If I didn't have it on the trailer right there, I could push the Mercury right up against the wall and get another car, get that car right up against the wall and have a little bit more floor space in here. I don't want to put the Mercury outside because, you put stuff outside, it just gets really rusty. I don't mind cars out there that sort of already are rusty and really gross. But I can show you on the Mercury, from being at Motorama and coming back and getting all wet and that salt and stuff on the inside. The tunnel that was all nice, clean metal looks like it's sat outside for 20 years now. So here's what happened to that tunnel. This was all just nice, fresh metal. Now I know I got paint, overspray, whatever on the top, which actually kind of saved me because at least the top's not all rusty. But look at this. This is just trashed. Like, it just looks like it's 20 years sitting like that. And all it was that one trip back from Motorama. Just did all that to the metal. So, man, it's kind of a bummer. It's pretty destroyed. So the salt and brine that they use on the roads up here is awful. And sitting outside is just awful. So I don't want that to sit outside. So it's nice that it sits in here and can tuck up against the wall. So I do want to get that off of that trailer. That'll be a job because it's such a big, heavy boat, getting it off of there. I know how to do it and I can, but it's just, I've got to get my tractor running because my tractor's out of commission. It doesn't seem to want to start. And I just haven't really bothered to go and look at it. I know it needs to be done. Carburetor needs to be done. So to get that running so that I can hook the tractor up to it so I can lift the trailer way up and just sort of put it on stands and then slide the trailer out. So that's what I want to do with that eventually, but that's major back burner. Like I said, number one project is to get back on this C50 and get this thing running and driving as well. So I've also got here my adapters that I picked up. So these are 10-volt like semi wheel adapters to adapt onto here. So I am just waiting to pick up. I'm going to do the white steel wheels on this thing is the plan, and then try to put a hubcap in there. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'd like to put something like this style cap on the wheel. Now, obviously this one's too small, but I'd like to try and figure out how I can get that cap on the wheels because I think that'll look pretty cool. So I had, right, you get the idea, something like that on the big semi wheels. So that'd be pretty sweet. So just waiting to pick up those wheels, and then I'll have to get tires for them. Anyways, that's the plan for this, to kind of have that look. I don't want to do the aluminum Alcoas because everybody kind of does those. And I just think that the look of this truck suits those white wheels better. So that's the plan. Have the white steel wheels on there, big semi tires. So the 22.5s is what will be on there. And then a nice flatbed that comes around, maybe curves around the back and then matches up with the same height as the running boards when it's on. So I'll have it extend down, maybe have some toolboxes on the side here, and then just a nice flowing flatbed on the back. So that's the plan for this thing. All right. So, and I really want to say thank you to all you at the time of doing this video. I'm just over 1,900 subscribers. So that's awesome. I really appreciate all of you that are still subscribing and watching. Thanks for hanging in with me while I sort of look after myself a little bit. I know I slowed down on the videos, but we will get back onto them. Like I said, working on this C50 because I know a lot of you folks really like this C50 build. So I will be showing you the progress as I continue on through that and get this truck done. So I really appreciate all you, liking and subscribing and commenting on stuff. I really appreciate it. Always, please leave a comment. I read all the comments and try to respond. I know some of the other guys, as they get bigger, it's harder to do, but obviously the small channel, it's easy for me to respond to all you guys. So please leave comments on any of the stuff, suggestions and stuff you like. I love the comments. I really do. I love when you guys, let me know some stuff and talk about some stuff on the cars. So keep doing that. I really appreciate everyone. And we're going to keep putting out some content here. Just may take me a couple more weeks to start feeling a little bit better, unfortunately. So thanks for tagging along. Please make sure you hit the subscribe, smash the like, follow along with all my builds. And remember, failure is not an option. We just got to keep pushing. Take care.